Okay, welcome back. See me. Got something on my. Anyway, it's Monday. It's Eclipse Day. And you look right on my TV. Disney is doing the eclipse all day. Follow the eclipse. So, that's on. Yeah, Eclipse Day, Monday. We're still here. And I have my go-to drink today is Diet Pepsi. Not a paid Not a paid. Love, 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 love. Would love to get free Diet Pepsi. 'Cause that's my thing. That that that'll get me every time. You'll you'll all just go nuts. Anyway, yeah. So today's video, as we're watching the eclipse, that eclipse looks like Burlington, Vermont. 1:42. It is 12:29 here. It's 12:29 p.m. That looks like it's at. Oh no, that's a countdown. Countdown to end is a minute and 30 seconds in Burlington, Vermont. We're in California, Northern California. I got a little bitty peeps of it in my camera. I was taking pictures. I didn't think I was getting anything. And then when I looked at my pictures, I noticed there's this little blue dot that I thought was like a sunspot. Um, just something reflecting. Well, yeah, it was reflecting. It was reflecting the eclipse actually. So if I enlarge my picture, I was able to see the little like eclipse shadow, which was really cool. So anyway, I shared that on my Facebook, my private Facebook. I don't have a book Facebook. Anyway, so this is a fun day. Got lots of stuff going on. Lots. It's a busy. I realized I have to sew some things for. I take some of my crafts into a local bakery a cookie bakery, which is so good. Cookie Tree, shout out. Um, and I have to sew some things because I'm going Wednesday. Excuse me, the Diet Pepsi makes me burp. Um, I'm going Wednesday to take some of those things in to sell and drop off. And I have a. It's really bothering me. That's a little pimple that's trying to come through. Sorry, shouldn't have pointed that out. Anyway, you know. I got some scrapbooking videos I want to do coming up. And this is going to be a book review video. It's going to be short on the reviews because I actually only read 3 books in March. It was a little, not a good reading month. We've started off better. I finally finished. I did. I finished it. We're going to review it. Hollywood Wives, Jackie Collins. One of my new reading buddies. Anyway, we did that one, and then I did a TBR for this month. So we've already started on one of those books, which is really, really good. But yeah, so if you're able to see the eclipse or watch it, enjoy it, not enjoy it, you shouldn't be afraid of it. It's just one of those spacey things that happens. Um, there's no Stephen King movie gonna pop out in this one, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not always right. But yeah, we barely get it in our area of Northern California. So, anyway, enjoy. Like I said, I have it back. I can't get the pointy thing down. Back here. Um, Anywho, so we should probably, that I was going to move this, um, get right to it. So, showed you the book. The other 2 books, I need my glasses. Can't see. I need a light. Ooh, light and glasses. Okay. So there's that one. So the other ones I read and finished was Fractured by Karen Slaughter and Beartown by Frederick Backman. And I'm pretty sure I haven't reviewed these yet because these are the ones I finished in March. Yeah, I finished them in March, so I went. I know I did a little update on the Beartown on um a little video I did, but let's just start out with Fractured. That is Karen Slaughter's Will Trent book number 2. And I actually listened to the audio and I read a little bit of the ebook online. And it's a thriller, suspense, crime fiction. Has the Will Trent is a Georgia Bureau of Investigations officer. And it just goes through different cases. That's what I'm trying to say. Fractured is a book that picks up where the actual show picks up at. When they started the show, it's on ABC on Tuesday nights. It's either 7 or 8 o'clock. I can't remember. But you could also find it on Hulu. So that when the first season, the first episode, this is this book, Fractured. So it's about a girl who goes missing from a rich family. And at first they think the mom comes home and finds the girl in her room dead on the floor, and there was a guy with a knife standing there over her. A knife standing there over her, and she thinks this man has killed her, excuse me, um, killed her daughter. So she's fighting him, and anyway. And then the father had called her on the phone before she had gotten in the house, and she said, "Oh, the door's open." He's like, "No, don't go in. I'll call the cops. Stay out." But she goes in and anyway finds that has happened. And so then when Will Trent gets on the scene, he's there to help the police to see if they need his help. So his boss told him to do. And he goes up there, and the father arrives, and he wants to see his daughter, and he's like, "No, no, you can't." And he's like, "Okay." He's gonna let him identify the girl. So he looks at the girl. She's laying there. He can't see her face, but the father sees something on her. I think she had a birthmark or something on her wrist or hand, and he's like, "Oh, that's not my daughter. That's not my daughter." And so he's like all fluttered, and he's yelling at his wife. It's not whatever her name is, Kayla, I think. And so anyway, so it turns out it's this girl's best friend who was killed, and the daughter is missing. So the whole story about that is trying to find out what happened to this daughter, who got her, where is she? Is she dead? Is she alive? And so it goes through and they investigate and they question the kids at school, they question the teachers, and then it's getting into a little dicey things with some teachers that are kind of suspect and weird. And so anyway, so you have the whole teacher is a suspect thing. And what else happens? I didn't take very many notes on that one. And so that's what that's about. I'm trying to think of any other big. Anyway, it's a Karen Slaughter novel. It has graphic it's graphic in description and words, and it's a good story. It keeps you interested. It kept me in. I should say it kept me interested. I was really interested in it. I took me a little longer to read it, but like I said, I have other things I had to do, so I couldn't just sit and read. But it kept me interested, kept page turning. I enjoy the Will Trent character. I enjoy Karen Slaughter's writing so far. I think this is the first one and this one is only two Karen Slaughters I've read so far. But I have other books. I have collected other books of Karen's that I will be reading also at some point. But I gave Fractured 4 stars. I think I gave the first one, Triptych, 4 stars too. Um, I really liked it. I think when I looked it up, Goodreads in March when I finished it, it was 4.2 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. So it's a big book. If you the ebook, it was 611 pages and the audio was 14 hours. I think the physical book might have been a little bit um less pages just because of the way it's formatted differently on the ebook and the book. Not that it doesn't take anything away from the writing. It's just it's a you have more pages, I think, because it's just a little smaller area than what you would have in the book. I think that's how they do it. But anyway, so yeah, I really enjoyed it. The next one is Undone, which I did find that they had the audio on YouTube, but you could get I could get the I'm sorry, I'm going to turn the TV off. Oh, we're at a commercial break. Never mind. I thought it was over. Apparently not. Keep doing that if you don't want to listen to me. But anyway, yeah, the next one I might get listen to it off of YouTube. Um and then I can get I don't know if I can get the online ebook right away through my Libby app, but that's also another option I can do. So that was Fracture by Karen Slaughter. Again, I gave it 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. It was good, a good thriller suspense story. Again, the Will Trent character, love him. They could have a little bit more written about the dog Betty in the book, I feel. I really, on the show, the TV show, I really love watching Betty. They don't have a lot of her, but she's a cute little chihuahua. Um, anyway, Betty's my fave character, I think. On to the next one. So, Beartown. Beartown, I finished. I started listening to the audio, and I actually, it's done. I didn't listen to it quick enough, and so the time for the audio to get sent back was running out, and I didn't get to finish the audio. So what I did was I went online and I went through my library and put it on a hold from my library because it said it was going to be a couple weeks. But I think I got it within a week, so I was able to finish the last 20% that I didn't get to listen to on the audio. That I finished it up. I forget how many. I don't know how many chapters. It was like 20%. It wasn't a lot. I finished it in one night. Um, but yeah, I ended up I wasn't sure if I was going to like that because it wasn't like this action crime thriller like I usually listen to. It was more of kind of a drama, and I wouldn't even consider it a suspense because so about this it's about this hockey team. So the guy, Frederick Backman, who wrote Beartown, he's Swedish, and so this is originally a Swedish story translated to English. And so when I was first reading it, I didn't know that. And I was like, where is this at? Alaska? Because it was all about cold and snow and, just kind of isolated. And then I Googled it and I realized, oh, it was probably somewhere in, because they had a few words that were different and names that were different that I'm not used to hearing. And I was like, oh, it's somewhere in Sweden somewhere. I don't know if Beartown's a real town. But it's about this group of little league hockey players, high schoolers. They have this hockey team, and the team's supposed to be really good, and they have some really good players, and they're all expecting them to go to like the championship game because like this is what this town lives for is like this is hockey. Like this is pretty much all they got going for them. They have some factory or something, but it's laid off people, and it's there's not really anything in town that keeps people there. Besides, there's some stores and things like that. It's not totally isolated. They don't have anything. There's another town next door that people go to or a lot of people work at or whatever. Um, but this was I was surprised how much I ended up liking it. I didn't think I was going to like it that much. I did give it 4 stars. Because I thought maybe it would be a 3. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't know. But once it got towards probably the middle or the end of it, because the first half to me, it was talking about the background of the players, each of the little players that had a kind of a main role in the story, and the general manager of the team and the coaches and the just the few. There's a lot of characters, but they all incorporate within the story to help with the story and move the story along. And I think um, so. The story ends up being about this teenage girl who's actually the daughter of the general manager of the team is assaulted by one of the hockey players. And what happens is with the story is, some people believe her, some people don't. Some of the town think that the guy, because this happened and she finally went to the police. She did go to the police about it and report it, and the kid that did it got arrested. And they're thinking this was all done for whatever reason before this championship game that they were going to. So the main kid that got arrested, he was like supposed to be the best player on the team, and then of course he got arrested and he wasn't able to play in the championship game. And spoiler, they lost. Anyway, so everybody's mad. They're mad at the girl, they're mad at the manager, and then there's people in town that believe her, and they, just the way that the hockey um, coaches and players act towards how everything about hockey matters, and that, people are just out to ruin their good time or whatever. But it was a very touching story. I felt a good emotional story. It was, it was about a bad topic, a horrible topic, and I think it was written well. I like it did the viewpoint of each of the, it, like I said before at the beginning, it had um a little bit of background with all the characters and their like home life or how they were, their personality and different things. And a lot of times when you have a lot of characters, it's like hard to keep track of, or a lot of times like the writer, for some reason, it doesn't help the story to move along or help with the actual story plot. And I think all of these different characters in their backgrounds and how their personality, I think it did help, and I think it did um move the story along good, because you got these different viewpoints about this um crime that happened and how everybody thinks about it and what they think. And you know not just the victim and the offender. It was, you had these all these other people that necessarily, it was like the town lady bar owner and just different different people. But I thought it was a good story. So when I Googled this and found out, I found out it's actually I guess it's a trilogy, because this is the first book in I guess I'll call it a series. And then the next one is called You Against Us Against You. And then the third one is The Winners. So I have no idea how those are going to go, but I think I'm going to invest my time in reading those two also, just because, like I said, this was kind of a surprise hit for me. I didn't expect that. Once I found out that it wasn't like a action-packed thriller murder mystery type thing, I was like, I don't know about this. It was more of a drama, but I did like I did like it. And I listened to the audio, which was 13 hours. And the narrator was Marin Ireland, which I never heard of. I think they said I Googled. I think she did some acting too, but I liked her voice with this. I thought she sounded like somebody else I thought it was, and I Googled and it wasn't, and that's how I found out who it was. Anyway, I'm only telling you that. Just a little tidbit. Um, but yeah, I did give it 4 stars. I really liked it. I know some people have really, really liked it and gave it 5, but I'm a hard grader, so you're probably not going to hear many 5s out of me, just because I don't know. I'm a hard grader. I expect I for a 5 star, I expect a lot, and I've had some 5 stars that I've read since the end of last year, maybe into this in the beginning of the year. I have had some. They're not going to be. I'm sure I'm not going to have a lot of them, just because I just I expect a lot. I expect it to be a lot, like fantastical a lot to be a 5 star. So my average is like 3, and those threes I like. I might not like it a whole lot, like really, really like it, but I like it. Like I enjoyed the story. I enjoy reading it. At some point, would I read it again? Probably. When? I don't know. 4 stars are most likely. Yes, I would read it again. When? I don't know, but it would probably be more likely than a 3 star, if you understand that. But yeah, so I probably will get a lot. You'll hear a lot of in my booktube, a lot of probably 3 stars. I'm predicting I'll probably give out a lot of 3 stars. 4 stars, probably not as frequent, but there will be more 4 stars than there will be fives. And like I said, I don't remember the last 5 star. I'm wondering if I gave. I'd have to look back. My Heart is a Chainsaw. I can't remember if I did a 4 or 5 on that, but because I think that was looking like a 4, and then I might have ended up giving it a 5 after I thought about it. And then the one that I can think of off the top of my head that I read at the end of last year was Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I really, really like that. I gave that one a 5. That one got a 5 stars. I really enjoyed Grady Hendrix's story on that one. Um, but yeah, so that's those two. And then the last one, the pièce de résistance, that we've been waiting and waiting and waiting for months, not that long, but is Hollywood Wives. I just finished it, I think, on the 4th. I think I finished it on the 4th, somewhere like 4th or 5th. Um, it was a surprise. I really liked it. I thought, oh, it's all nostalgia for me. I read it for nostalgia of the early 80s, the LA vibes, the Beverly Hills vibes, just that. I didn't think I'd really like it, but I actually really liked it. Jackie, Jackie Collins here, she's since passed away. Um, I think I've got a new reading buddy with Jackie because there's another two. There's the Hollywood Husbands and the Hollywood Kids. Then there's Hollywood Divorces. Of course, you're gonna have a divorce somewhere, right? I may hit up the Hollywood Husbands soon. I'm not sure when. That could be a summer read. I feel like that would be a summer read. That one and the kids. But I enjoyed this. I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't think I wasn't gonna enjoy it, but I didn't think I would enjoy it as much. I gave this a 4 star. I didn't write it down. I did give that a 4 star. I did give it a 4 star because I thought, oh, it'd probably be a 3. And I was debating, should I give it a 5? Because it's not really my cup of tea, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't give something a 5 star just because it wasn't my main genre based type story. I will. It's just how I think about the story and how let's turn that down. Let's let's mute. She's a little loud, isn't she? Okay. Well, let's see where we're at. I don't know, people. There's somewhere. I heard her say Arkansas, but I don't know how they go from Vermont to Arkansas. I'm confused. Um, yep, they're in Arkansas, so I don't know when this is, but anyway, that's our update on the eclipse, okay? Um, anyway, so this started out right away, right off the first page, people. There was a murder. And I was like, whoa, Jackie, I had no idea. The prologue, right away in the prologue, like the first page. It was like, actually, I'd say one whole page because what it is it's like, well, how are we going to do that? Half a page, and then you have a half a page on the next page. Like, literally, that would be one page. It's kind of a waste of paper. I don't know why they didn't write it on the page. I'm not a publisher. Anyway, right away, there's a murder. It happens. This like, boom, right in your face. I was like, oh my god, wow, is this? I I thought this was like a Beverly Hills Housewives. Well, then it goes into, you have your housewives, you have your husbands, you have the affairs, you have there's a movie being written, the script, they're trying to find get these actors. There's this producer, the writer, the director and the writer are married. Neither one of them like this producer guy, but he's working out the money to make this movie. So then they're trying to find people to star in this movie. And then another one of the it's a lot of characters, but they all play together. They all work for the story. It that I guess is what I could call it. They work to move the story. So it's not it's they all have a role to play. And I think it works. I think she wrote it well. I really like it. It was first published in 1983, this book I looked up. So, it's been a while, but like I said, it was nostalgic for me just because of when I was a kid. I loved watching TV shows and the movies about LA and Beverly Hills. And it was like, this is pre, reality show Beverly Hills Housewives or anything like that, pre reality shows. I'm talking like 70s, 80s when I grew up. And, yeah, this is set in the early 80s. Um, Anyway, so there's a younger actor character in here, Buddy Hudson. Um, and then I didn't pay attention to the way they look. Like she described their appearance, but a lot of time I was like, "Oh, there would something come up about the way they look?" I'm like, "Oh, that's the way they looked." Oh, I was imagining them with like blonde hair or something. Then somebody would have dark hair. And I'm like, okay. So I really didn't pay attention to the way they looked as far as the characters were written. And then that Buddy has a young wife. He's a newlywed, and he really shouldn't have got married because he got married on a whim in Hawaii. And anyway, that whole soap opera. Um, so you have the Buddy character. You have these about there's about is there 4 or 5 Hollywood wives. Then you have husbands and you have ex-husbands, and then you have everybody else seems to be having an affair. Oh, so this is graphic. I mean, it's written. It has graphic sex or and words, But also there is parts in here that I don't really like, but I get that back then they didn't have I don't think they really were politically correct on certain things of well, they weren't really. It wasn't politically correct back then the way we are more politically correct now about other people's that work for us or you work for. So yeah, so there's service people who work in the cleaning or landscape, and they're prominently Hispanic peoples. And anyway, there's a that's it's not a lot of mentioning. It's just, this one lady has a housekeeper and she's not politically correct. I don't remember, oh, I don't remember the use of like calling them bad names, like using bad words to call it. I don't think. I could have missed something, but I just kind of tried to read right over that. It wasn't a lot in the story, but just so you're aware, there is, you know, they just they had what they call servants or maids or whatever, or we would say help cleaning. I don't know what we've never had a maid, so we've never been rich enough to have a maid. Anyway, so yeah, so there's that, but there's other graphic things in here. And then so at the beginning when there was this murder, so there's a cop in the story that's trying to catch this guy that committed this murder. So he follows it. Started out in Philadelphia is where that happened, and so he follows him. This cop ends up following him, how the story goes, all the way to California. This guy is looking for, I guess he finds out he's adopted and he's looking for his birth mother, and she turns out that she's in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills. So at the end, you find out who his mother was and what happens, and it gets very theatrical and thrilling and suspenseful near the end. But then you have all this stuff happening. There's some people that die off, and so there's all that. There's all that goodness to Beverly Hills. Good, bad, and ugly. Literally good, bad, and ugly. And I really liked at the end how she wrote the epilogue. Was it? Um, So normally at the end of the stories, sometimes you hear about the characters. Oh, such and such makes it to the hospital, or they end up there, or they just went off into the sunset, or something like that. And you usually hear about that, like it ends like that a lot. And so this one, it kind of ended like that, like it stopped. Obviously, it ended, and then the epilogue. I thought, okay, what's this? It was a little. It was a few pages, maybe one, two, three, 4 or 5 pages. She packed in a lot because Jackie wrote in the epilogue, you learned about what happened to those characters. Obviously the ones that died, but the ones, the ones that survived, whatever their marriages or divorces or, you know, movie starting, stopping, whatever. You actually got a good synopsis of the what happened to those characters, what they ended up doing or go where they ended up going, and just kind of gave you a good little, like, it just didn't stop, and it just would keep you wondering, oh, did the guy survive, or did he have problems? Did he get another job? What happened? Did they get remarried? Did they get back together? You like have all that stuff. I feel like there was just lightning or something. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's the TV. That was weird. Uh-oh, it's eclipse day. Anyway, so she gives a good synopsis of each of the little of the main, like I said, there was a good handful or two of characters. Some of them died. I'm going to tell you that. But each one had a little bit about where they ended up. And I really like that. And I think that helped with me giving this a 4, because it just didn't stop, and I just had to make something up in my head to wonder what happened, like a lot of times you have to do. And because I like how she ended this. I like how it ended. I did like how it ended, and then I like how she summarized the others. But yeah, it was a good little story. A bunch of housewives, a bunch of husbands, ex-husbands, um, movie stars, and it's not a movie star like she would name. It's not anybody going to be named George Clooney or anything like that. This is like made up people, but I know from past interviews that I've watched of her before, long over the years, she was, she lived in Beverly. Her sister is Joan Collins. Joan Collins from Dynasty. Joan Collins, if you know. They're sisters, and she's the writer, and Joan was the actress, but I think she did a little bit of acting. But she hung around in Hollywood and Beverly Hills, and she hung around all these people. So where she got her stories from was hanging around for all this action and all these people and all these things going on, but she did not say, things like, "Oh, this is I don't even know who this is." Well, back in her day, it wouldn't have been George Clooney. Our day, it would have been like George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. That would, some kind of gossip scoop. She didn't have the name. She might have had stuff in there like people I don't know that she was maybe talking about, had a little bit of reference to, but I wouldn't have known who it was. But anyway, yeah, Jackie Collins. Me and Jackie, we are probably going to be good reading buddies now. I'm sorry she's passed away, because there's not going to be any more Jackie Collins. Anyway, so I am looking forward to the next ones. I'm looking forward to the next Will Trent's and the Beartown. So all 3 books that I read this, uh, I was going to say semester. I'm not in school. I finished that this last month. There are all other books by these authors that are continuation of. Well, I don't know if that's the one thing I'm wondering, is Jackie's characters in this book is a continuation in these next ones, as far as the husbands, the kids, and the divorces. I'm curious. So that's one reason. There's Daisy. Um, I'm wanting to read these to see if it continues like that, or if it's just a whole new group of people. But anyway, I'll soon find out. But yeah, that could be a good summer read. But yeah, I enjoyed them all. I think I gave them. Did I? Yeah, they all 3 books that I read are 4 stars. I enjoyed it that much. And so just a little update on my next. Right now, I'm reading The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I've started on that. And that seems to have a as I'm reading, I see that it has a viewpoint of each of the characters. Each chapter is like a different character. Um, for this, I guess there's a wedding that's taking place on this island off of the coast of Ireland. So that's interesting. So I just started that. I think I'm like on page 30 something. So not very far, but I'm off to a good start in April. I've actually started a new book. And then the next ones I have on my well, I have the TBR video you can watch. But there's also Women Talking, Miriam Toad. These are the ones I'm hoping to get to. A Flicker in the Dark, Stacy Willingham, All the Missing Girls, Megan Miranda. All those books were on my rollover since February. Also some new ones I put on here. These new ones? Yeah. Yeah. Fatal Grace by Louise Penny. That's the number 2 in her Inspector Gamache series. There's The Golden Spoon that I was curious about by Jessa Maxwell. It's like a reality baking cooking contest at this castle, so that seems cool. And then there is and that's the ebook. So the ebook is The Golden Spoon, and then If It Bleeds by Stephen King. It has short stories, but also one of the stories is supposed to have the character of Holly Gibney from the Bill Hodges trilogy that I was um very interested in reading those. Yeah. And then the last one is Sleeping Beauties by Stephen King and Owen King, his son. And that's an audiobook I have. And that one I totally forgot what it was about, but I've wanted to read it / listen to it for a while. So that's where we're at with the April stuff. I don't know if we'll get to all those because I'm feeling like I'm on a better reading path in April than I was in March. So anyway, so that is the uh reading review, book review. Yeah, so I hope you'll see this tomorrow, Tuesday. Right now it's Monday, we're having an eclipse. It should be over. Here it's over. It's 1:05 now. It was supposed to be over at like 12:18 or something like that. Um, I don't know how long it's going to take the rest of the United States. Probably all day, maybe not. Who knows? Anyway, I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you back here on another day. Okay, thanks. Bye.